Well, this is the second part of my battle with the Marathas. We're in the winter of 1737. I wish our winters were like this. I'm afraid they're certainly not here in the UK. If you remember, they seem to be accepting a fairly good line formation, really. We seem to have managed to get them all together in 1 point. I think it's probably because they're away from a building this time, you know, from that collection of buildings that they had that could break up my formation before. This time they're out in the open. If you remember, they've deployed much more over to the west than they did previously, which meant that my troops over from the east have had to come a bit further in order to come on as reinforcements on this battle. But it means that I've got them in a much more open formation. Not only that, there are no defence works on this one. There are no barricades, there are no chevaux de frise, there's nothing on this occasion. They've just arrived, of course, so the battle is a little bit more normal, let's say. I've still got these incredible mortars, and I'm so pleased we've taken these out before they've attacked us in our fortresses, because if the Marathas had any sense, they would simply stand there all day and just lob those mortars over at me and just completely wreck anything I've got inside the fortress. I know they wouldn't be able to blow the walls down, but at the moment I've got the game on unlimited time, so they could just stand there all day, all night. You know, I could be there for a week waiting for the game to finish. Unless of course I go out and get them and go and attack them and get murdered trying to stream out of the gates. Anyway, there you go. That was the square formation I'd put in for the cavalry there on the right hand side. They were the cavalry, if you remember, that came to attack me on the right side, and I thought, oh, I'll chase them off. So I chased in, and they moved out of the way. Here's that was some other cavalry I've caught there on the right hand side. I'm hoping this won't go into more than just the next video, and we can finish it from there. Trouble is, the morale of these chaps really is very good, so they stand for a long time, and then when they break, they reform. So it then becomes, you know, pockets of resistance all over the battlefield, which does tend to extend the battle a little. Anyway, if you do want to skip to the end of this battle, you could always go simply straight to the next video and see the results and do it that way. Otherwise you're going to sit through the rest of the video, I'm afraid. It's another one of those where I can't really go close up because I need to view the whole battlefield all the time. I need to watch where I'm moving my troops to, you know, by highlighting them, and I do that best while the game's paused. So it is a bit of a chess game, this one, I'm afraid. You notice how I've got a mixture of troops in there as well. So when I try moving them as one army, it's moving all sorts of bits of troops from all sorts of different places. So I need to ungroup those units. So when I do choose to move some units, I know it's only those units that I'm moving. Well, I thought we were keeping it all together. We seem to have a division occurring. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I need to draw them back into line, and then we'll go back to the old toe-to-toe. Certainly need to get those chaps out of square there. That's a bit of a waste of time, those being in a square formation, I would think. The horse that you just saw then coming up there, they'll be the ones that have come from all the way over on the east coast of India. I don't know where that mortar was firing, but it seemed to land amongst his own troops there, so I'm a bit confused about that. Oh dear. What on earth's going on? I don't quite know what's happened there to those mortars. Maybe it's my fire on them. Maybe it's my canister shot that's hit them. Not too sure, but I saw a lot of fire come from those left-hand mortars there. sure, really, at all what's happened there. Trying to keep the cavalry back, as you can see, and let the infantry do most of the work. The other reason why I'm being so painstaking about all of this is I want my troops to come out of this fight in such a way that they've got a decent amount of experience and can be amalgamated in such a way that they keep that experience. Now, I know that sounds a bit daft, but it's one of the things that I have to bear in mind. That's more like it. And the first time I tried to move them, they had a twisted formation facing slightly to the right. I wonder if that's maybe what happened before when I lost the line formation. They didn't quite go into the shape that I wanted them to. The trouble is, if you ask a formation to occupy a place where it can't fully occupy, there's some buildings there or some rough land or a slight rock face or something, then it distorts their formation or alters their direction slightly as well. And you do have to watch out for that when you're placing your troops anyway. Now they look to be routing, and they look to be a decent distance away from the rest of them, so I might just be able to take those out there. My cavalry look a bit far forward there, don't they? I don't think we want that. Might be worth rushing those back, yeah? Get them out of the way. See, normally you'd think infantry would want to stay away from cavalry, wouldn't you? But these Marathas don't. They think, oh, great, horses. Maybe they just like horse meat or something. I don't know what it is. You know, it's way, dinner. See, normally you'd expect horses to drive the enemy into square formation, wouldn't you? But not these. It seems to drive them on to acts of valour. Again, I'm so sorry about this pausing all the time, but like I said to you, I'm taking into account casualties in various places and the best way to line things up so they're all together as well. So I know it does seem a bit of a pain. This is what screws things up and slows the game down. On the right there, you see that infantry there? Just there, that flag, that Maratha flag? That's what slows everything down, because it's it gets in your way. That's me sending my cavalry to chase somebody off. I'm looking round now at any potential targets around the back that the cavalry can take out. I don't want troops to be getting off this battlefield if I can help it. Now, I fought them only last turn, defeated them, you know, really quite well, but it'll be horse that escaped from the battlefield, I would imagine. So he's managed to find a partial flank there as well. He's not completely around the flank. I think we can cope with that fire. Might be worth just standing there rather than moving them now. My right-hand horse seems to have got itself a bit far forward there, doesn't it? Okay, depends really what he's going to do now. If he forms a big bulge and attacks that one unit there in the middle, he could well break the line. I'm really just not sure what he's going to do at all. For some reason, I don't know why, I haven't got my usual reserve. There don't seem to be any troops in reserve behind this line at all. Ah, maybe that's those coming up now, right. I thought maybe I'd left them without any support at all. Problem with that, you see, is if you are broken through and you have no reserve, then you really are sunk, because he will roll up the line.